Okay,
Okay, go on.
greetings, everybody. This is Verona from Ancestral Voices here once again with another interview. Today we have our guest, Aunty J, also known as Aunty Jedidah, who I call Aunty J. And we're here today to do a round two on our conversation last time, which was called The Negative Impact of Spirituality. So, Aunty J, I'd love to welcome you. Obviously, the last time you were interrupted, so hopefully we're just going to go into today's show and have a powerful interview. But before I officially welcome you to the platform again, I would like you to just open up this space so we can have a wonderful show by invoking the ancestors for us, please.
Okay, everybody take a breath and relax. I call on our divine and pure, honest and true ancestors, those that we know, those that we don't. I call on the elements of fire, earth, air, and water. I call on the directions of north, south, east, and west. I ask the directions to create this space, regardless of where we all are in the world, but that our energies are put together and protected by the magnetic forces of the poles, to be guarded by the power and the energy.
No.
Breeze is blowing beautiful in response right now to guide this meeting, to guide me. I ask our ancestors what it is they need for our people to know right now, in this time, in this space. Use me as their vessel so that their words can come to our people with love, with truth, and with unity. Let it be done. Ashe and Ajay.
All right. So thank you very much for that prayer, Auntie J. I feel like I can feel the energy already shifting. And with that, I would like you to just introduce yourself again for anyone who is new to you.
Okay, I am Aunty J. And I've got trees and everything around me, and I'm just seeing how the trees are like responding to everything. So when I look far away, I'm not away, I'm just looking at nature and seeing how nature is responding to all of this. I'm Aunty J. I'm here in the Gambia. I've been here before. I'm sure you guys will get fed up of me eventually. But as long as the ancestors use me as a voice, I will always be here. Okay? For whatever it is they need for you guys to know, because we are in serious times right now. So a lot of misinformation is out there. But the ancestors use certain people as vessels, like they're using Ancestral Voices, Fee and Dalian. They are a vessel of the ancestors. They use me. I am a vessel of the ancestors. And I'll start off as I mean to go on, the way that I am, straight and true. There are not a lot of vessels out there. Okay? I've been saying from the beginning of time that I've been talking, it's the few and not the many. And as we talk about the subject matter that we're going to talk about today, it will become more apparent, hopefully, that the few are just a few. And the many who are going to go to the wayside are many. So, V, give me a question. Let's go with it.
All right. So as you guys are aware, this is the part 2 show. So if you haven't watched the first one, we suggest you go back and watch the first one. Last time, Auntie J, due to technical issues, we had an issue trying to get Aunty J to express her thoughts and opinions, and that's why she's here today. So we're going to hit the ground running. We are going to go deep into this subject. As we know, it's a massive subject, so I don't know how much justice we can do, but we are definitely trying to do the best that we can and address some of your questions. So we're going to open it up from the beginning. So if you have any questions, please get into the comment section, and then I will try and make a point to get to you. But Aunty J, and also actually before we start, I need to put my disclaimers out again. I did it the last time, I'm going to do it again. Woo! Okay, so first disclaimer, the negative use of spirituality. Let's just be very clear. This is apparent across all traditions across the globe, all peoples. This is not limited or restricted to African spirituality. I've had people up in my inbox saying, oh my gosh, you know, I've left Christianity and is this what's going to happen? And blah, blah, blah. Look, just because you're educating yourself on something now, it doesn't mean it didn't exist before. People have bad mind. That's the individual. And someone can be thinking bad things about you or speaking negatively about you that can manifest negative situations in life. So let's be clear. Let's not stigmatize the traditions anymore. My second disclaimer is that please do not let the conversation of curses and negativity and, you know, all this stuff make you start falling for these fake babbers who are targeting social media. Disclaimer number 2, okay? Find a legitimate practitioner, but Aunty J will be giving some solutions and things that we can address for ourselves. So, woo, now that I've got that off my chest, Aunty J, also just a quick thing to let you know, when you sit forward, you kind of come off the camera, so just be mindful of that.
Cool. All right, cool.
But one thing I'd like to start off with is that when you were here last time, you made a point of stressing, I think it's really important, is that you said whilst we're focused on, you know, people using African spiritual knowledge for negative use, you made a valid point and very important point about how this spiritual knowledge is being used on a much far greater level to suppress people worldwide. If you can elaborate on that for us, that'd be wonderful.
Okay, I was going to touch that, you know, but I don't know, this dog, I don't know if I did, like I said, I had no order. And I actually thought in my mind, because I was given that it might come last, but it's come first. And that's the order that the ancestors want things to go. All right. You know, we like V said, we focus and concentrate so much on what we do to one another. And don't get me wrong, I don't condone it. I think what we do is wrong. Yes, but I always say truth has a root, and you always need to go to the root of all truth. And the fact that we are doing some of the things that we do, or not even that. No. Let me put it around the right way. The reason why, maybe not, that's not the right word either. I'm losing English. It's like we do basically everything about our spirituality is, one, portrayed negatively, yeah, and two, we do it negatively. We use the negative side, so we hurt with it. Do you understand? But what we need to understand is we are actually in a time in this space where we are enveloped in negativity. Okay? And I say this because I can't read none of that because it's too far away.
It's all right, don't worry. Just general comments.
And the reason, I don't know how to bring this in. Okay. We understand and we say all the time that these people came onto the continent. Okay, let me go further. We understand that we are the first people here, right? We were the first. We are the human. And when I say we, I'm going to open everything up. I'm just going to talk as I know, right? I'm not talking about, and people are getting confused. I'm not talking about the African as we know the African today. Yes, like I hate this word, but I'm going to use it so that people understand. The Negro, right? The Negro sort of African, right? That makes me shiver. But yeah, just so that we know, right? Now you had the Black Indian, yeah, the Dravidian, and one of my clients, Aisha, if you're there, listening, love you. She brought me, she made it so like in my face about the Arawaks and the Caribs, who are a continuation of the tribes of South America, the Indies, the Caribbean islands. And what I was saying was, yeah, the indigenous people of the Caribbean, not us. Yes, we are not the indigenous people of the Caribbean. We were brought there. Do you understand? And this is where we mustn't get it twisted. I'm coming, don't worry. But we were brought to the Caribbean, so we're not indigenous of there. Okay, the Arawaks and the Caribs and other Black Africans that were there before we were brought there, there's been a mass genocide of these people. And she brought them to my attention the other day. Well, she didn't. I've always known of them, but in a different sort of way, that they're indigenous. They've had mass genocides. They're also Black Indians, just like the Dravidians. Is it the Anandians or whatever in southern India? And if we're going back far enough in time, the Aztec, Mayans, Incas, Olmecs, all of these were the Black Indians. They are a part of us. Yeah, they're dark, some darker than us, but at the end of the day, they've been wiped out. Their genocide has never been appeased. They are a part of our ancestors that we've forgotten. Yeah, and a lot of us from the Caribbean, I know I might be digressing, I'm coming back. A lot of us from the Caribbean, yeah, who are mixed, because from I was growing up, there was Kuli, mixed with the African that came and the Indian that was indigenous, and they became what was known as Coolie. You understand what I'm saying? And people, when they're looking back in their ancestry, they've got to look at the indigenous. There's some of us that are indigenous to the Caribbean, and there's a great majority of us that are not. Okay? Now, we understand that we were the first people. And I'm talking about like the Black Indian, I'm talking about the African in its old vast form. Do you understand? The Aborigine, the ancient Chinese, Black Chinese. I'm talking about when the world was black. Yeah, not just this continent that they've condensed us down to now. Yeah, right. So their thing over the time has been to go into our places, kill us off, first and foremost. The Aborigines, the Black Chinese, the Indian, the Caribbean, and even the South American. We're the ones that are left now, and they're trying with us. But they've come in, and they've gone into our temples and our sacred places and our sacred spaces, and they've learned our mysteries. Yeah? They've learned our mysteries. They've taken our mysteries and they've brought it back to their dirty, disgusting, uncivilized places, yeah, where they was ravaged with disease. They took our plants, they took our people, they took everything. But they took, the thing that we're dealing with here is they took our mysteries. And in so doing, they were able to study them, look at them, because those that know, in the Caribbean, there's a secret society called De Lawrence. Sorry. If you understand what De Lawrence was a man. And what he did was the priests and priestesses and the high priests and people that were brought through slavery over into the West, yeah, he mixed with them, took a lot of their mysteries, mixed it with their funny mysteries, negative mysteries, and created this secret society, which does not a lot of good. Anyway, that's for later. But what I'm saying is they took a lot of our mysteries, and what they've done with it, yeah, is they have created their own spiritual cults. I have to say it that way because I don't know a better word to describe them. So you've got things like, and we talk about the 1%, we talk about the Bilderbergs, we talk about the Illuminati, we talk about the Skull and Bones, we talk about the Knights Templars, we talk about all these secret societies that we look into, but we don't really. We say, yeah, they do ritual, and yeah, they eat people, and yeah, they eat them. Yeah, they do that. But are you understanding? It's easy for us to say we want to deal with our ancestors, which a lot of people are coming to me and saying, and that's another thing. I'm coming back to that later too. Right? We want to deal with our ancestors, but we want to jump before we can even walk or crawl. I just think that we need to take our time with the way we're coming to ancestors. But with these people, they have created a very negative form of our mysteries. They use the same signs, the same symbols, but they use it in its negative form because, like everybody keeps saying, there's balance. And there's also balance in the spiritual realm. There's the positive and there's the negative. And what we're not taking into consideration, we talk about this whole society being an illusion. Yeah. Okay. When you manifest something spiritually, it's not an illusion as such, but it's not real because it can be taken away because it was something that you did spiritually that manifested something physically. Yes. So if I was to put it to you that this illusion that we're living, yeah, has been manifested by people that are doing things on a negative side of things, right? If I was also to say to you that, because people keep saying to me, like, how are we gonna deal with our situation? How are we gonna deal with, we've got no money, the black economy and the black this and the black. And I keep sitting back and because I'm like, are we gonna get it? Is the penny gonna drop at any stage? Because there's nothing physical that we can do to help our situation. Yeah? Because our situation we have been put in this situation by something spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? And until we can counteract it spiritually, doesn't matter what we do physical. What we're living is the physical manifestation of what these people, this 1% that runs the world, yeah, are doing spiritually. We talk about, all the big royal families, the queen, they drink blood. So what is a blood ritual if not something spiritual? We talk about our children going missing. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, it's getting rapid. Our children going missing. They're doing sacrifice. So when you talk about Africans that do sacrifice or Caribbeans that are doing sacrifice, you know that they're doing something bad. But when our children are going missing and it's these people that's taking our children to do sacrifice, then what?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that spell that they're casting? Do you understand? And what is the manifestation of that spell that they are casting? Do you understand? And the power of them is us, because a spell or a ritual or anything that's done in a group, yeah, has more power, yeah. But these people are so clever that not only did they do the initial ritual, like we've got our ritualistic days: Christmas, New Year's, Easter, May Day, Halloween, 4th of July, all of these Valentine's, they are all ritualistic days. These are days that these people go underground in their little holes or wherever they are, and they do blood rituals, they do sex rituals, they do all sorts of rituals. Now, blood rituals manifest killing, and we are doing it. Okay? Sex rituals manifest all our girls, boys stripping off themselves and dancing down, as normal. We think it's a normality, but it's not. It's a spell. And I'm going to go there. Religion. Yeah. We think it is through choice. First and foremost, in the beginning, it was through force. Yes, they forced their religions down our throats. Otherwise, slavery and slavery, Arab slavery and European slavery would not have happened. These are the remnants of these are some of the reasons and the things that were given to us. And we need to look at slavery on both levels, because there's a lot of things that we need to understand that happened, that has come down in the generations that we're still doing, or they are still doing. Now, they gave it to us, the religions, yeah, and they had to put it in a form where they keep us, because it's a spell, keep us under this spell for ages. So we talk about what is in a ritual. Okay, so depending on the ritual, but I'll break it down. We're going African rituals now, or any indigenous rituals if you want to go there. We have incense, candles, color, chanting, and a representation, a symbolic representation of your intention. Yes? Agreed? Let's go in the church. We have candles, incense, color, the sash of the priest, color, call and response and hymns. Yes? And a symbolic representation of our intention. The wine for the body of Christ, and that little piece of host for the blood and the body of Christ. We are taking part on a regular basis in ritual. A ritual that we are actually taking part and doing it ourselves. I don't know all the symbologies, but Christmas is another one. Yeah. The 12 days of Christmas is an actual ritual that they actually perform. They buy all the things, 7 made the milk in, 5 gold rings. They buy it. In America, there's certain secret societies that buy these things and do certain rituals and sacrifices. And we're sitting there with our advent calendar in our homes, knocking it off every day. Spiritually, we're putting our essence into that. The fact that we do the turkey, because all of these things are symbolic representations of the rituals that they are doing in order to keep us in the places that we're in. The turkey, the Christmas tree, the Christmas decorations, the presents, all these things, like the wine and the thing, is physical representations of whatever it is, the tree, the hanging tree, that, you know, all these things to keep us in a certain position, and they actually make us take part in it all. Do you understand? Otherwise, it's not got no power, because their intention is to rule the world. Even better still, their intention is to take the continent, because it's got the resources that will allow them to rule the world. They can't rule the world without the resources, and the resources are under our feet. You understand what I'm saying? And they know, well, it's to their interest, their best interest, to keep especially the African stupid, yeah, and, you know, in a bubble, so they don't know what's going on in the world. So they've given them, through colonialism, even more than anybody else, the Muslim and the Christian, and they will kill you for it. And while they got this brotherly Muslim and Christian thing going on with the Muslim and the Christian, the priests and all the rest of it, they are there, you know, like a front line. It's like they're like the front. Do you understand what I'm saying? And behind, you know, the people that run things are coming in and digging out everything and taking out everything. You've got the World Health Organization. They're all on the same side. Know that. Coming in, yeah, injecting, giving us vaccines, giving us this. Next minute, we're dying of this, dying of that. Women are becoming sterile. Women are having stillborn babies. You know, all these things, even down to um even down to in Europe, you've got you know, is it Planned Parenthood in America, and you've got family planning, yeah, in Europe. And they do ritual where they kill and eat fetuses and babies. So is there any surprise when they're symbolically killing life, and they happen to have a preference for black fetuses and babies? So is there any surprise when we as a people have so many gynecological problems, yeah, because they don't want us to reproduce anymore? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is everybody with me? Are you with me? You know, somebody give some messages up there,
People are listening and they're agreeing with you, Auntie J.
right. So, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of ritual that gets done. I mean, um it's no mistake about our children going missing.